Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Tuesday, October 28th, 2014. David Wilcock put out a blog post yesterday on divinecosmos.com, and he's writing about the Cabal defeat, which he believes is imminent. And interestingly, he cites some recent films as evidence that the Cabal defeat is looming. And he mostly focuses on Captain America, but he also mentions a few other films. And it's interesting, encouraging as always. It's very long. If you have some time, it's worth reading. I have scrolled down to this film starring Tom Cruise. I did happen to see this. In fact, I think I saw this in the theater. I have not yet seen Captain America, which everybody is telling me that I need to see. And that is the main focus here for David Wilcock. But I did see Oblivion, and Tom Cruise is mentioned here. He's in another film that David Wilcock cites. Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Through the years, there have been a lot of unpleasant rumors about Tom Cruise. And a lot of people have not liked him that well, although most people seem to enjoy his films. I want to emphasize it doesn't matter. It doesn't, it's not significant in the greater scheme of things, really. But over the years, I have really become a fan of his. And looking back over the years, a huge portion of the roles that he has taken have made a statement in a good way. Even the one he did with Jack Black, the humorous one, he played kind of a spoof on Steven Spielberg. I believe he sees a vision of life, and he understands what's wrong in the world, and I believe he tries to take roles to kind of highlight that. Yesterday we even happened to watch The Firm, which is on Netflix right now, and of course I've seen it many times, but as I learn more about the Cabal, about the evil in the world, I see new things in films that I watch, and there was a much greater degree of rule of law at the time that film was made, and you can see integrity in the Justice Department. And not to say that there isn't any now, but I think it's more difficult to find. But that film is really highlighting a truth about what goes on in our world. And I do appreciate these actors and directors and producers who take on these subjects and really make an effort to expose the corruption that's around us. And I very much believe in being able to put things together through watching and reading works of fiction. So if you are interested in that approach to truth, you will very much enjoy this David Wilcock post. And Benjamin Fulford's blog this week is very interesting. The battle for planet Earth is reaching a climax. It certainly feels that way, and he cites many reasons, and he has some information here, some links that he believes illustrate the fact that the Fed is running out of money, that the Cabal is running out of money. One of those is from RT. IRS seizes hundreds of perfectly legal bank accounts, refuses to give money back. This happens all the time. I mentioned this yesterday. The lady who had the diner, as I had that link from the New York Times. It's astonishing that people are tolerating this. That's what's astonishing. And if you've ever had any credit problems, any IRS problems, you probably are aware that there's a tremendous amount of like guilt and shame feelings that go along with it, like you're a bad person. And they capitalize on that, make you feel like a bad person. Well, here's the news. It's they who are the bad people, not us. Benjamin Fulford also included this link in his blog, and the caption is U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen attends an open meeting at the U.S. Federal Reserve in Washington, capital of the U.S. October 22nd, U.S. Fed Board governors held an open meeting to discuss a final rulemaking requiring sponsors of securitization transactions to retain risk in those transactions. Translated by Benjamin Fulford, that means that derivatives worth far beyond actual value will have to stop. And he speculates that it's possible that a quintillion dollars, that number is just out there, but that's how much worthless derivatives. I mean, they have worth because they're believed to have worth, but they're not based on anything. And he believes that there might be that much of derivative paper. So them losing that is huge. It's extraordinarily significant. And Fulford said that is why the IRS is raiding bank accounts. And he gave some other specific examples of demands for cash. And of course, he makes his entire blog available on Thursdays now. And you can always find it on Quilapele and a few other places. Very well worth reading this week. And one thing that I want to highlight that he mentioned is the Ebola fear campaign in the U.S. I have really struggled with this issue because people like Wilcock and Fulford say that it's not significant, that it's fear-mongering, that it's going to diminish, not turn into anything. And then other people like Alex Jones, the health ranger, many people say, and please don't leave comments saying that they're all shills. I just don't buy that. Alex Jones has just really worked too hard to bring out too much truth. Now, could he be changed at the last minute? Maybe even not through his own will to deceive people? Sure, he could. However, yesterday I think I finally was able to put the puzzle pieces together and experienced a moment of clarity on what, and this probably sounds obvious to everybody, but however, sometimes it takes me a while. Steve Quayle was on Alex Jones. Ebola is an aerosolized weapon. Here's the moment of clarity. I fully believe that the Cabal does have a plan to kill us, to wipe us out. It's clear. The Georgia Guidestones, and as the Bible says, the devil only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So if there's evil around, you can bet it's killing, it's stealing, it's destroying. No brainer, right? So yeah, I do believe there is a plan. Steve Quayle is going to be on Alex Jones for 2 hours today, and I personally don't want to miss a moment of it. There's just the interview rang very true, and this is a portion of it, and of course you can find the rest of it on InfoWars, and in fact, I don't typically do this, but I'll leave the link with the playlist on YouTube. The plan of the Cabal, yes, is to kill us, and they will use Ebola if they can manage it. But the reason, the guys like Fulford and Wilcock are optimistic is because they believe that the Cabal can be stopped and is effectively being stopped. That perspective probably offers realities. The truth is, there's this plan and this plan, and the good plan and the evil plan, and which plan will be implemented, well, we can participate in determining that. Of course, one aspect that people mention of pertaining to Ebola is the vaccines, that there will be mandated vaccines, and that's where the real biological weapons will be released, is through the vaccines. And here is an article that Dr. Tenpenny posted on Facebook. Vaccines should be federally mandated. This is called for, and if you read this article, it's very naive. It's something that I might have written 10, 15, 20 years ago. Things that I believed at that time, well, I no longer believe them because I've had some scales fall from my eyes, as I'm sure most of you have. And in the midst of some of the more dramatic news, this is a heartbreaker. I spent some time in Detroit in the late 70s, early 80s, and it was a grand city. And Cynthia McKinney posted this article on Facebook. A lot of these families that are affected are African American families. 1/5 of Detroit's population could lose their homes. I think this is partly an Agenda 21 push to rewild area around the Great Lakes. It's partly just the same genocide plan against black people. And here's this subtitle: many families could stay put for just a few $100s if only they knew how to work the system. This is an unspeakable tragedy. I really just don't have anything else to say about that. Hey, if any of you are millionaires or billionaires, maybe you can pay for some classes for these people to teach them how to keep their homes. And if you live in California, you might want to send an email, take action today, tell the California Department of Food and Agriculture that you oppose PEIR, the dangerous blanket approval of the widespread spraying of toxic pesticides in California. And I don't suppose it would hurt if you sent them an email, even if you don't live in California. This is very significant. We all know what these pesticides do, and they're going to just release them full scale, head on, if this passes. From Infowars.com comes our good news of the day. Sheriff's Office refuses to participate in future blood draw checkpoints. Backlash prompted by Infowars story on controversial no refusal DUI stop. So this sheriff's office responded to the people, responded to the cry, responded to their being requested to remember and be true to the vow that they took to uphold the Constitution. And they are refusing to participate in future blood draw checkpoints. Yay! God bless these guys and give them favor and promotion in the future. And may many, 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 may millions follow their lead and refuse to participate in operations that are contrary to the vows that they took to uphold the Constitution, including the Bill of Rights. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty and justice for all.